The moving truck rumbled away, leaving Chance and me standing in front of our new apartment building. Sweat trickled down my back as I hefted a box labeled kitchen crap. "Fuck me, it's hot," Chance groaned, wiping his forehead. "Remind me again why we picked Cornelius City." I grinned, shoving him playfully. "Adventure, remember? New city, new us?" "New us, my ass. You're still a pain in mine," he retorted, but his eyes sparkled. We trudged up the stairs, our laughter echoing in the empty hallway. I fumbled with the keys, nearly dropping the box. "Allow me," Princess Chance teased, snatching the keys and opening the door with a flourish. The apartment was bare, sunlight streaming through dusty windows. Chance whistled low. "Home sweet home, huh?" I tossed the box onto the counter. "Home is where the booze is. Want to christen this place properly?" Chance's eyebrow shot up. "Now you're talking my language. Lead the way, roomie." As we clinked our beers, I couldn't shake the feeling that this move was going to change everything. Little did I know how right I was. A week into our new life, and we were already fucking lost. The sun beat down mercilessly as Chance and I wandered aimlessly through Cornelius City's winding streets. "I swear to God, if you say 2 minutes away one more time, I'm gonna lose it," Chance growled, glaring at his phone. I snatched it from his hand. "Give me that, you're useless." "Says the one who got us into this mess," he snapped back. My stomach grumbled loudly, reminding me why we were out here in the first place. "Look, I'm starving. Let's just pick a place and eat." As if on cue, a neon sign caught my eye. Paper rings, I read aloud. "Sounds cheesy as hell, but I'm desperate." Chance shrugged, already heading for the door. "As long as they serve food, I don't give a shit." The moment we stepped inside, I knew we'd made a mistake. The place was packed with couples, pink hearts everywhere. An elderly waitress beamed at us. "Oh, aren't you two just adorable? Right this way, lovebirds." I opened my mouth to correct her, but Chance's hand on my back stopped me. He leaned in close, his breath tickling my ear. "Free drinks if we play along. You in?" My heart raced at his touch. "Fuck it, why not?" I whispered back, ignoring the little voice in my head screaming that this was a terrible idea. As we followed the waitress to our table, I couldn't help but wonder, was this just a game or something more? After our date at Paper Rings, something shifted between Chance and me. Our new routine fell into place faster than I expected, nights blurring together in a haze of takeout and Netflix. "Ugh, I'm so fucking done with today," I groaned, collapsing onto our couch one evening. Chance emerged from his room, paint smudges on his hands and a concerned look on his face. "Rough day at the number factory," he teased, settling beside me. I threw a pillow at him. "Fuck off. Not all of us can play with colors all day." He caught the pillow, laughing. "Hey, these hands create masterpieces." His eyes softened. "Want to talk about it?" I shook my head, reaching for the remote. "Nah, just need to zone out." "You picking dinner tonight?" "Already on it," he said. Phone in hand. "Tie good with you?" I nodded, feeling the tension in my shoulders ease, as Chance's arm draped casually over the back of the couch. As the movie started, I found myself inching closer to him, drawn to his warmth. Halfway through the film, I realized I'd somehow ended up with my head on his chest, his fingers absently playing with my hair. It felt right, dangerous, but right. "Hey, Chance," I murmured, not daring to look up at him. Thanks for, being here." His arm tightened around me. "Always, Lou. Always." As I drifted off to sleep, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were crossing a line. But in that moment, tangled up with my best friend, I couldn't bring myself to care. Weeks flew by, and our movie nights became a sacred ritual. Tonight, Chance was late. I paced our living room, phone in hand, trying to ignore the knot in my stomach. The door burst open. Sorry, Chance stumbled in, hair wild, clothes spattered with paint. Lost track of time at the studio. I tried to glare, but my relief won out. "Jesus, I thought you'd ditched me." He grinned, collapsing onto the couch. "And miss our date night? Never." My heart skipped at the word date. I tossed him a beer, settling in beside him. "So what masterpiece kept you this time?" He hesitated, then pulled out his phone. "Actually, I wanted to show you." I leaned in, our shoulders touching. On the screen was a stunning portrait of me. I gasped, recognizing the moment he'd captured me, laughing on our balcony, the city lights behind me. Chance, this is... Fuck, I don't know what to say. He shrugged, not meeting my eyes. It's nothing, just... Inspiration struck, you know. The air between us felt charged. I wanted to say something, anything, but the words stuck in my throat. Instead, I curled into his side, inhaling his familiar scent of paint and cologne. As the movie played, forgotten, I found myself hyper-aware of every point where our bodies touched. His hand on my waist, my leg thrown over his, our fingers intertwined. Lou Chance's voice was low, rough. I looked up, caught in his intense gaze. For a moment I thought he might kiss me. I realized with a jolt that I wanted him to. But the moment passed. He cleared his throat, breaking eye contact. Never mind, it's nothing. As we settled back into silence, the unspoken words hung heavy between us. Something was changing, and I wasn't sure if I was ready for it. The tension between Chance and me had been building for days. I was a mess of confusion and want, unable to focus at work. As I left the office, my mind elsewhere, I nearly collided with someone. "Ho there," Lou James, my coworker, steadied me with a laugh. "Hot date." I snorted, about to brush him off, when I spotted a familiar figure on a nearby bench. Chance. My heart leapt. "Hey," I called, walking over. "What are you doing here?" Chance stood, a smile lighting up his face. "Surprise. I found that burger joint you've been obsessing over. Thought we could check it out." Before I could respond, James caught up. "Lou, you dropped this." He handed me my phone, his hand lingering on mine a moment too long. I saw Chance's smile falter, his eyes darting between us. Shit. "Oh, Chance, this is James from work." James, my roommate Chance. The awkward silence stretched until James cleared his throat. Well, I was going to grab a bite. Mind if I join? I hesitated, caught between not wanting to be rude and desperately wishing James would disappear. Sure, Chance." Chance's jaw tightened, but he nodded. "Yeah, whatever. Let's go." At the restaurant, I tried to keep the conversation flowing, but Chance was withdrawn, barely speaking. James, oblivious, kept cracking jokes, drawing me into work gossip. "Excuse me," Chance suddenly stood. "Got work to do. See you at home, Lou." Before I could protest, he was gone, leaving me staring at the door, James's voice fading into background noise. "Fuck," I muttered, ignoring James's confused look. I had to fix this. Now. I bolted from the table, chasing after Chance into the rainy night, my heart pounding with the fear that I might have just ruined everything. "Chance," I shouted, rain soaking through my clothes as I chased after him. "God damn it, wait." He stopped but didn't turn around, his shoulders tense under his drenched shirt. I caught up, panting. "What the fuck was that about?" I demanded, grabbing his arm. He whirled around, his eyes blazing. "What do you think, Lou? You really that oblivious?" Oblivious to what I snapped back, frustration and confusion boiling over. Into this, he gestured wildly between us. To us. To the fact that I can't sit there and watch you flirt with some fucking coworker. I stared at him, stunned. "Flirt? With James? Are you out of your mind?" "Am I?" He laughed bitterly. "Christ, Lou, I love you. I'm in love with you. Have been for months. And I can't pretend anymore." The world seemed to stop. Rain pattered around us, but all I could hear was the rush of blood in my ears. "You love me," I whispered. "Yeah," he said, deflating. "I do. And if that fucks everything up, then..." I cut him off, grabbing his face and crashing my lips against his. He froze for a split second before responding with a hunger that matched my own. His hands gripped my waist, pulling me flush against him as the kiss deepened. When we finally broke apart, gasping, I couldn't help but laugh. "You idiot. I love you too." His eyes widened. "You do?" "Of course I do," I said, punching his arm lightly. "Why the hell do you think I've been such a mess lately?" He grinned, that cocky smirk I loved so much. "Because I'm irresistible." I rolled my eyes but couldn't stop smiling. "Shut up and kiss me again." As his lips met mine once more, softer this time but no less passionate, I knew everything had changed, and I couldn't fucking wait to see where it would lead us. We stumbled back to our apartment, soaked to the bone but unable to keep our hands off each other. The moment the door closed behind us, Chance pinned me against it, his lips hot on my neck. "Fuck, Lou," he breathed, his hands roaming under my wet shirt. "Tell me this is real." I arched into his touch, my fingers tangling in his hair. It's real, babe, so fucking real. We left a trail of damp clothes to his bedroom, falling onto his bed in a tangle of limbs and breathless laughter. As we made love for the first time, I marveled at how natural it felt, how right. Afterward, lying in his arms, I traced the tattoos on his chest. So how long exactly have you been pining for me? He chuckled, the sound rumbling through his chest. Honestly, since high school. But I really knew that night at Paper Rings. I propped myself up, grinning. No shit, that long. He pulled me in for a kiss. What can I say? You're worth the wait. The next few weeks were a blur of passion and discovery. We couldn't keep our hands off each other, sneaking kisses in the kitchen, quickies before work, long nights exploring every inch of each other. But it wasn't just about the sex. It was the way Chance now openly watched me with adoration as I rambled about my day. It was how I'd find little sketches of us hidden around the apartment. It was waking up tangled together, no longer pretending it was an accident. One lazy Sunday morning, as sunlight streamed through the windows, Chance nuzzled into my neck. You know, we should probably go back to Paper Rings. I turned to face him, eyebrow raised. Oh, why's that? He grinned, that mischievous glint in his eye. Well, we owe them a real show now, don't we? Plus I've been dying to properly kiss you on that dance floor. I laughed, pulling him closer. You're on, boyfriend. But first. I trailed off, sliding my hand down his chest. Chance groaned, flipping me onto my back. God, I love you. As he kissed his way down my body, I couldn't help but think how perfectly we fit together, in every way possible. Weeks flew by in a blissful haze. Chance and I fell into a new rhythm, one where stolen kisses and intimate touches were the norm. But life has a way of throwing curveballs when you least expect it. It was past midnight when my phone buzzed. Chance's name flashed on the screen. Babe, I answered, groggy. Where are you? His voice came through, weak and slurred. Lou, I don't feel so good. At the studio. Adrenaline shot through me. Stay there. I'm coming. I found him slumped over his desk, face flushed and burning up. Jesus, Chance, why didn't you call earlier? He mumbled something incoherent as I hauled him to his feet. Getting him to the car was a struggle, his body heavy against mine. Back home, I managed to get him into bed. He grabbed my wrist as I turned to leave. Stay, he whispered. I hesitated. We hadn't spent a full night in the same bed yet, always retreating to our separate rooms after sex, but seeing him so vulnerable. Okay, I said softly, climbing in beside him. Through the night I tended to him, wiping his brow, forcing water and medicine down his throat, holding him through feverish shivers. As dawn broke, his fever finally broke. I watched him sleep, his face peaceful for the first time in hours. The weight of my feelings hit me like a truck. This wasn't just lust or infatuation. This was deeper, scarier. I'd move mountains for this man. Chance stirred, his eyes fluttering open. Louis croaked. Hey, tough guy, I smiled, brushing his hair back. How you feeling? He caught my hand, pressing a kiss to my palm. Better. You stayed. Of course I did, idiot. I love you. The words slipped out before I could stop them. We'd said it before, but always in the heat of the moment. Never like this, raw and real. Chance's eyes widened, then softened. He pulled me down, resting his forehead against mine. I love you too, more than you know. As we lay there, tangled together in the soft morning light, I realized we'd crossed another line. There was no going back now. And honestly, I didn't want to. After Chance's recovery, our relationship shifted again. We stopped pretending we slept in separate rooms, officially moving into his larger bedroom. The intimacy of sharing a space, of waking up together every morning, was intoxicating. One Saturday morning I woke to the smell of coffee and Chance's lips on my shoulder. Rise and shine. Sleeping beauty, he murmured. We've got a mission today. I groaned, burying my face in the pillow. If it involves leaving this bed, I'm not interested. He chuckled, his hand sliding teasingly down my back. Even if I promise to make it worth your while later. I peeked at him, intrigued. I'm listening. Grocery shopping, he announced proudly. We're gonna cook a real meal, together. I burst out laughing. Babe, neither of us can cook for shit. Hence the together part, he grinned. Simon, it'll be fun. At the store, we bickered over what to buy like an old married couple. Chance insisted on following a list while I snuck treats into the cart when he wasn't looking. "Lou, we don't need 5 types of cookies," he sighed, trying to look stern. I batted my eyelashes at him. "But babe, what if we get hungry while cooking?" He rolled his eyes but couldn't hide his smile. "You're impossible." Back home, our kitchen quickly devolved into chaos. Chance struggled with the pasta while I tackled the cookies, both of us swearing colorfully. "Fuck," I yelped as the oven timer went off. Smoke billowed out as I opened the door, revealing charred lumps that might once have been cookies. Chance burst out laughing, then quickly stopped when he tasted his pasta. "Jesus, this is bland as hell. Gordon Ramsay would have my ass." We looked at each other, covered in flour and frustration, and burst into hysterics. "We suck at this," I gasped between laughs. Chance pulled me close, still chuckling. "Yeah, we do. Pizza." I grinned up at him. "God, I love you. But wait. I have a better idea." His eyebrow raised. "Oh, paper rings," I said. "Let's go back. As a real couple this time." His eyes lit up. "Now that's the best idea you've had all day." As we headed out, hand in hand, I couldn't help but marvel at how far we'd come. From best friends to lovers, from awkward roommates to a real couple. And somehow, it all felt like it was always meant to be this way. The familiar neon sign of paper rings glowed in the twilight as Chance and I approached, hand in hand. My heart raced remembering our first awkward visit. Nervous Chance squeezed my hand, a knowing smirk on his face. I snorted, bumping his shoulder. "You wish. Just hope our favorite shippers are working tonight." As we stepped inside, it was like stepping back in time. The same cheesy decor, the same lovey-dovey couples. But this time we weren't pretending. "Well, I'll be damned," a familiar voice called out. Our elderly waitress from months ago beamed at us. "The lovebirds are back." Chance grinned, pulling me close. "And this time, it's for real." She clapped her hands in delight. "I knew it." "Didn't I say they were perfect together?" she called to her coworkers. As she led us to our table, I couldn't stop smiling. Everything felt right. "You know," Chance mused, picking up the menu, "I never actually tried the burgers here." I laughed. "Me neither. Too busy trying not to jump you that first night." His eyes darkened. "If I'd known that then." "You two ready to order?" our waitress interrupted, winking. We ordered, bantering easily with her about our first date here. As she left, Chance stood suddenly, holding out his hand. "Dance with me." I raised an eyebrow. "Feeling sappy, are we?" He pulled me up, leading me to the small dance floor, just fulfilling a promise. As we swayed to the music, his arms around my waist, mine around his neck, I felt a sense of completion wash over me. "Hey, Chance," I murmured against his chest. Thank you." He pulled back slightly, looking confused. "For what?" I smiled, reaching up to trace his jaw. "For taking a chance on us, for being patient, for everything." His eyes softened. He leaned in, his lips brushing mine gently. "Thank you for being worth the wait." As we kissed, slow and deep, the world faded away. No awkwardness, no pretending, just us. When we finally broke apart, breathless, I couldn't help but laugh. "Think we gave them enough of a show this time." Chance grinned, that mischievous glint in his eye. "I don't know, maybe we should practice more at home, just to be sure." I smirked, pulling him closer. "Lead the way, boyfriend." As we left Paper Rings, hand in hand, I realized that sometimes getting lost could lead you exactly where you were meant to be. And I was exactly where I belonged with Chance, in this city, ready for whatever adventure came next.